Thanks for doing this. You've lived quite an interesting life that I'm actually very excited to like talk about and like talk about the journey. But before we do, I have to give a shout out. It's part of the show to the sponsor of the show, Empowering Me, who does all of my pre-show interviews and helps with like a bunch of the stuff with coordination. And so shout out to that. They do a lot of work on social media, helping people share their story and recover from trauma. And so I'm very appreciative of them. Links to all their stuff. Go follow them down in the description below.
Look, follow
each one of
follow.
you. And
Click the link.
And while you're down there, turn on the bell and hit subscribe. What else do the YouTubers say? Like, follow.
Hey boys, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment at 201 saying I was here.
Boom.
Call out, babies.
And with that, you've got a dream to share with us today.
I do.
Yeah. Where do we?
Got a dream.
Welcome to The Dream Show, where each episode I sit down with someone just like you
I'm in a current phase of pushing myself to do things.
to decode the meaning behind your dreams and explore their connection with trauma, healing, and the subconscious mind.
I do like to watch and see where the dream takes me.
My name is Jesse Lyon, your host, a licensed counselor, certified trauma hypnotherapist, and a dream interpreter. So whether it's a nightmare,
I don't know why, but I knew that he was talking about me. And he comes storming up to the door. And I remember him shouting, "Where is my son?"
a bizarre scene, or something too weird to even describe,
It was so traumatic for me, literally, I have blocked all but this memory.
we dive in and learn to listen to the messages that your mind is trying to tell you. Let's jump into it.
Where should we start with all this? Can you start with maybe like sort of current situation? I mean, you live in Central Florida here with me.
Yep.
You know, we're in the same town. That's why we're recording in person. We got an idea of your age. Any other background stuff that you think is important? You know, you did live internationally. I think that's a big part of your backstory.
Man, background things that's gonna help with the dream stuff.
Yeah, just that you want to share
Or in
with
general?
people. Yeah. I mean, shout out the website too if you got something to promote. I'm all
Sure,
about it.
yeah. Well, I'll talk a little bit about me personally before, shouting anything. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah, so I spent almost 7 years in Japan. Right after I finished college or university, depending on where you're from, what you want to call it.
True.
I moved over there, started out English teaching, fell in love teaching kids and stuff, and then went on a wild journey of working at startup companies, doing like modeling and acting over there.
You were in that Toyota commercial.
Yeah, I was Toyota.
I think you were driving a Supra too. Like, it was pretty.
I was.
It was pretty badass.
Yeah. McDonald's commercial where I had to learn to dance.
Oh yeah, I do
Coca-Cola.
remember that.
Like, there's been a lot.
I remember you sent it to me. You were in Japan. And you're like, "Look, I was in this commercial." I was like,
I know.
"Damn, it's cool." I was geeking out over it. Like, my friend's famous.
Yeah, it feels so weird coming back here and then just talking to people casually and just being like, "Yeah, I've done this." And they're like, "Wait, what?" And I'm just like, I don't know. It's just something you just don't really bring up very much. It feels weird to me, at least.
Yeah. What is that weird feeling for you? Like, weird how? Because I don't think a lot of people have that experience. Like, it's kind of unique.
Yeah. To quickly summarize, like the reason why I'm not living in Japan anymore, everyone asks that. They're like, do you ever want to go back? Why aren't you still living there? That sort of thing. I was doing my own English teaching business at 2019, 2020 time period. And so when 2020 hit, a lot of my clients like meeting face-to-face. They didn't want to meet online to do English lessons. So what ended up happening was I lost revenue and my visa expired that year, and you have to make a certain amount of money to self-sponsor a visa. And then I couldn't, and because of COVID, I don't know if we're allowed to say the C word, but
COVID?
Yeah.
Are you not?
I don't know.
Did you just get me demonetized?
Yeah, I don't know, but
It's okay. I wasn't monetized to begin with.
yeah. So I was trying to just get hired by another company so that they would sponsor a visa, and then I would work with them for a few years so I could
That
stay.
makes sense.
But what was the problem was, even if a place wanted to hire me, it would take like 3 to 4 months for that visa process. I didn't have that time, and so
because you were out.
Yeah, like I went to immigration, and they're like, "Yeah, here's a 1 to 2 month renewal for you. This is a
That's all you
get
got.
out of our country visa." Is the summarized version of what that was.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah,
close out
enough
your
time
accounts,
to
move out, get
sell
rid of
your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wow.
then I had to come back to the States, and it was really expensive moving back because of everything I had to cancel and all
during
this
the
stuff.
height of all this price stuff.
Oh, my days. I couldn't get a direct flight from Japan to anywhere in America. I had to fly to like Korea and somewhere else, and then I had like a 29-hour layover in another country before I come back. All in all, like during COVID, yeah, it was. That's really crazy. Yeah, that sounds like a really emotional time. Was that like do you switch into business mode? Just like I just have to get home, I gotta get this to happen. Whereas like, I mean, I imagine like I'm losing this thing that I'm like, I don't know, this thing projecting.
Fun fact, that's what I've been going over in therapy.
Oh, so we're on the right
I haven't
track.
grieved it. So
Yeah.
it's been like 5 years now, and like I still haven't really like gone through and grieved that whole loss of like life. Basically, it's like that was a completely different like life I lived. I was in a relationship at the time. My family was like, it was really complicated because they were trying to help me, but they were being really difficult about it. And like, I'm not going to go into that too much, but that was also a struggle. And so they were wanting like an A to Z plan of like, when you get back here, how are you going to get on your feet, sort of thing. Like, oh, you're going to go to a job interview. How are you going to get to that job interview? Oh, you're going to get a bike. How are you going to get the bike? Like, it's just like, I was like, I will figure it out. Like, it's not that hard. Like,
they had like hurdles you had to overcome before they would let you come back. Like,
they were like that's the stuff they were talking to me about while I was still in Japan, when I was talking to them about like I need to like move back home like temporarily or whatever.
Yeah, like you're worried about a freaking bicycle. Like I'm trying to move across the globe.
Like they were retrospect, they were thinking about it from their standpoint of like we want to set him up for success when we want him to start thinking about these things.
Sure.
But they were not realizing from my point of view of everything that was going on in my head at that time. And so there was a disconnect there, which made it really frustrating.
Understandable.
Yeah. So relationship didn't work out either because, long distance, and then I was kind of stuck here and I had like no money. So
oh man,
it was tough. And then I was working like, I worked at Starbucks. I worked at, I don't know if I want to like dox all the different places I've worked at, but I worked in a lot of different companies.
Sure,
a lot of different companies, a wide variety of jobs.
Some better than others, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then I ended up working at a private school in Central Florida, where I got to teach again to second graders, and it was like a reignition of like, this is what I used to do, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So you love working with kids?
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, I never thought that was like my gift, I guess.
Knowing you in high school, I would have never thought that was your gifting trajectory.
Me neither.
Definitely.
Well, to be fair, like I went to school for psychology, and originally it was like I want to get into counseling for kids. And so that was something I was like, because I struggled a lot, like
percolating on it,
in like adolescence and like my teenage years. Like I was like, I want to help people who also have, who struggled like I did. So that was like kind of originally where that came from. But then I was like, I'm really bad at the whole like listening part and like not getting emotionally involved with like what they're telling me. So
grad school kind of irons that out of you though.
Yeah.
Like that is kind of the point of grad school. Psychology, you get the basics, and then grad school, you like learn the like actual practical skills.
It's funny that is something my family hound on me. They're like, "Hey, you want to go back to school?" And I'm like, "Not really."
I mean, it is a good question though, because like school is very expensive, and unless you really intend to follow the whole path of like master's, practicum, internship, licensure, supervisor, and like follow that ladder. it's really expensive and it doesn't pay off. So it's like you have to be certain, like, I'm trying to be a counselor.
Yeah, especially because out of all the things I've already done, it is like solidified in me that it's like I don't need to go back to school. Like I know I can already do all these different things. Like the only thing school is going to give me is a piece of paper for a specific employer that feels like they need that to validate a hire, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the only reason I did it was the only way to get a license to counsel is to get the master's. So it's like
legally, do
it's just,
what you do.
Yeah, just legally you have to do that. So for me, it was like, okay, great, I have to do it and just eat the cost.
Yeah.
So it made sense. But yeah, I think a lot of people get into school without making that calculated decision, and then there is no good return on investment for it, which is then you got to pay that stuff back. It's expensive.
I couldn't imagine going to like medical school or law school and like quitting halfway through and be like, no, I can't do this.
Man, that's crazy. Rough. That's rough.
To all those you out there that do that, like I really admire you. The amount of dedication it takes to get into those fields is just like it's a different breed of people.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so I want to get into your dream, but I have a question that I think people will relate to, which is, since this is kind of your current topic of processing, do you have any personal, like maybe not for everybody, but even just personal, like how are you processing grief, or what are you learning about this unrealized grief that has been very impactful for you in maybe recognizing it, working through it? I just want to kind of understand your personal thoughts.
So I have found that I don't have a great answer for how to process it, but I do have a great answer for how I was able to start recognizing it. And it started with me realizing all the things that I do day to day, that suppress my mind from focusing on it. Like I keep myself busy. I'm like locked into my phone, like watching YouTube, playing video games, like, and those may seem like obvious things, but even not obvious things of like getting like distracted into like a side project or a hobby or something like that, where it's basically anything and everything. My mind was like trying to all in on something other than giving myself just 10 minutes, 5 minutes of space to be like, let's think about the past week, month, year. And like, I'm so bad at giving my mind that space to journal, even not journaling, even just not doing anything. Like one thing that my therapist challenged me on was just like I had issues like following through with things and like being like, this is what I want to do, and then not doing it.
Yeah.
But like to just spend 10 minutes by myself, I don't have to journal, I don't have to pray, I don't have to meditate, I don't have to do anything. It's just sit and just be in my own thoughts. And it's so hard to do that.
That's tough.
Like,
that's tough.
It's so hard. Like even going from my computer to then like going somewhere else in the house, like I want to like instinctively take my phone with me to like stay connected in like a conversation on like Discord or something, or like a text message, or to then like if I have a minute be like, oh, I can multitask doing this boring thing, let me open up some TikTok or something. Like
is there a way that you've found to recognize the difference between activity that you're enjoying versus activity that's distracting? Because like doing a new hobby is not necessarily bad advice for somebody.
Sure.
No, I don't think you're saying that.
Yeah.
Or getting interested in a new topic and like doing some research on YouTube is not a bad thing. But is there a way that you've been able to recognize for yourself the difference between, oh, I'm genuinely interested in this new thing or this new hobby versus, oh, I'm suppressing this thing and using this as a distraction to not think about my grief emotions? It's kind of a tough question, but
it's really hard because on one hand, if there's something that you know you need to do, and it's so hard to answer that because your brain is so good at convincing yourself on doing other things, and it's like why go through that discomfort and bringing up like hurt and pain when we can, dopamine, like let's watch this fun video, like,
yeah.
And so without even realizing it, like, for me, my big thing right now is D&D, and so it's so easy for me to get into like I'm planning adventures, I'm planning out stories, or like I'm like it's productive, I'm doing something, but I'm not giving myself any space. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to. It's such a good question. Like, I don't really know how to answer.
Maybe
that.
Not sure yet. You've become aware that you've suppressed grief, but maybe not certain about what activities are suppression activities, what activities are genuine enjoyment and happiness activities.
I think that. In the end, that I know that I will be happier if I take the time for myself than the happiness I feel doing the things that are fun now. Like Dungeons and Dragons. Let's just stay on that example.
Sure.
Like, it's so fun, like developing those stories, like planning out campaigns, coming up with character ideas and stuff. But like even that in of itself may not last. Like there's other games I've played in before that I remember were fun, but I'm not in those games anymore, or like I'm not running that game anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm with myself 24/7. And it's so tough, and it's easy for me to say this, but like I can't stress enough how hard it is for myself to do what I say, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. Like it's easy to say it, but then like also doing it.
Yeah.
Whenever I talk with clients, I've always, kind of brought that up. I mean, awareness in my thoughts is the first step towards sort of making progress in your emotional health. Like if you're not aware of the problem or even able to accurately define the problem, I don't think that the brain can sort of address the problem. Like I have to know what it is and define what it is before I can make action about what it is. And so I always ask that question of like, well, so how do you differentiate between activity that is genuinely enjoyable, makes you happy, versus activity that is distracting or dissociative? And so I always kind of try and ask the person about like the purpose of the activity. It's like, when you're doing something, are you aware of your emotions while you are doing that thing? Is one, because when we shut down our emotions in one area, that carries with us. And so, sure, I may be distracting and enjoying with a dopamine hit, but I'm not actually emotionally integrated in that thing, like scrolling on TikTok or watching a YouTube video. Like I'm not actually in an emotional relationship with that thing, right? If I'm suppressing grief, I'm suppressing all emotions. Like we don't have separate light switches for different emotions. You either turn amygdala on or amygdala distracted, right? And so my thought is like, well, am I emotionally integrated in all the other areas of my life? If I'm not, or I'm noticing a disconnect emotionally, that probably indicates that there is something I'm avoiding, is one. And then two, I try and think about the purpose of the thing. Like, have I considered why I'm doing this? I'm picking up my phone to like watch TikTok as I'm walking from my computer where I was watching YouTube to the bathroom. Like, what is the purpose of that? Well, to be honest, it's probably a distraction.
Yeah.
So like that's when I become more intentional and like move with purpose, that cues me into psychological blocks. And when I'm more aware of my physical and emotional sensations throughout the day, that clues me in to emotional blocks. And so if I can pay attention to those two things, at least for me personally, that seems to be a helpful thing. You're going to like the segue, but as well as dreams. They clue me in to when I have emotional blocks.
Yes.
Did you like that? Did you like that?
That was pretty good. It's almost like you do this for a living or something.
Well, whatever. Sponsor me, YouTube. Okay.
I didn't sponsor anybody that,
Well, I haven't hit the benchmarks yet. We're working on it.
Yes.
Like and follow. Yeah. Let's check out the stream. Is that cool? Good transition?
Yeah.
Do you have something to share?
I guess to help with what may help with dream interpretation.
Take it away.
After I was teaching, kind of quick backstory.
Yeah.
During that time, I got into a relationship, and then
time in Japan, just for
no. When
during
I was
that time
teaching back in the States, when I got a chance to get into teaching again.
Okay, yeah, I did that
for a year, and then they renewed my contract, but it was bad. They were not giving me any more money. They were not going to pay for Thanksgiving break or Christmas break anymore.
Oh.
It was terrible. So I left and started working in a completely different field at a friend's business. That friend hired his best friend to be a manager. My friend's best friend didn't like me and then fired me from that job.
Oh.
And then
that sucks.
Yeah. And then I kind of got into like working in like fast food for a while, and like Chick-fil-A, which I don't know if they want to say they're fast food, but they're fast food.
They're fast food.
Yeah, and I kind of got stuck there for a while.
I feel like a lot of people do at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
that's a thing there. You
get like a trap.
You get sucked into like. Anyways.
Yeah. Time passes, and then like almost 3 years I was in that relationship, and then it ends, and then I
more grief and loss.
We were in an apartment together, and there was 2 months left in that lease, and to break the lease, it cost 2 months rent, so we decided to just stay, and so we were living together for those 2 months.
Oh, awkward.
And then finally, after
I'm imagining it was awkward.
Yeah, it was okay at first. It didn't feel like we had broken up, and then it wasn't until later, and I learned that they were like seeing someone else before we had broken up, and then they brought that person over.
Oh.
That was fun. Anyways,
damn, man.
Yeah, then I moved out, and then so the beginning of 2025, I'm in a new place. I'm trying to start my own business, like single again. So much is going on. Trying to be like, okay, who am I? That sort of thing.
Wow,
what is my purpose?
Who am I?
What do I believe in? Like all these things. Crazy. Then fast forward like 6 months, I made a lot of progress, realized what I actually want to focus on in terms of business, switching up my jobs that had provided me financial stability. Yeah.
I'm tracking.
Give me a break. I had to learn another language. English is hard. Yeah, and then like this disconnect of wanting to be close to my family and like reconnect with my parents, but still haven't gotten over kind of like the grief and like the pain that they've kind of caused me, like through both 2020 and like from childhood, other things that I'm not going to get into. But yeah, and it's just like me being my age now, and like my friends who have, they're stayed in the same thing. They haven't gone and like lived other places, so they like
I've been pretty locked
they're successful and like where they are, and it's like the part of me is like betraying myself of like comparing, which oh my gosh, comparing is terrible.
It's different lives.
Yeah, it's different lives.
Different
and then
stories.
Like everyone who talks to me, they're like, oh, you get to do all this amazing stuff. That's amazing. But then I'm not accepting that part of my life. I'm not being like, that was amazing. It's more of, I feel like it was wasted because I'm not living that anymore. Instead of being like, that helped grow and shaped me.
Yeah. No, I get it. That piece feels foundational to this dream.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. All the stuff I talked about really matters. And then like I started, going to therapy, and surprise, surprise, I got more dreams when I would start doing therapy.
That'll happen.
It's almost like
starts to unblock itself. All right, well, let's start with this first one then. This is great.
Okay. Should I do the oldest one first or the recent?
People ask me this all the time, and I always say start with the one that's the most emotionally intense. Like when you think about it or read it or process it, it feels like it's got the most emotional gravitas.
Well, let me
casually use that word.
The first line of this, it says, "I just had a very emotional dream."
That one, actually.
Let's do that one. So perfect.
Yeah.
So I wrote down, I just had two very emotional dreams back to back.
Okay. Same night.
In the same night.
Yeah.
But it was like two different movies. Like played back to back.
And generally, how long ago is this? Is this like a week ago, a month ago, 6 months ago? If you don't know, it's okay. Just wondering. Yeah, don't worry about it. I was just curious.
I'm gonna say August.
Okay.
So depending on when you're watching this, like
should be
2 months ago.
Yeah.
2 months ago, a month and a half ago, maybe.
Yeah, today's October 2nd.
Yeah. So between like 1 to 2 months.
Okay.
The first, I was at a ranch helping with some landscaping when I came across family graves of deceased members of my family. And I just broke down and started crying. That is all I put for the first dream.
That's great.
And again, because this happened like at that distance ago, it's hard for my brain to remember that as like a memory.
Yeah. No, dreams are like that.
So like I can vaguely remember reading it back, kind of what was happening. Man, I wish I wrote down more, but
no. I love the way that the brain writes things down right after the dream, because if you were to try and do it now, you would mess it up because you're too conscious of it. And so the subconscious mind is heavily influencing what you wrote down. And so like those are always the best. People are like, oh wait, I made a typo, or I did this, and I don't think that was actually right. I think it was actually this. Don't change it.
I did make a typo.
Don't change it. Don't change it. Yeah, perfect. Because, one, the reason I say start with the most emotionally intense is the conscious brain has an awareness of time. The subconscious does not. That's why you can live a whole lifetime in a dream and it's only been an hour. So if you are focusing on what is the most recent dream, you're missing the point. The brain, that part of the brain doesn't care about most recent or most distant. It cares about emotional intense. And so I had a very emotionally intense dream. That's the one. I want that one. And it's short. It's like, that's great. And so what's so cool about dreams is instead of the conscious mind getting in the way and trying to add details about like, well, wait, that doesn't make sense. Let me add details to make it make sense.
The storytelling part of it wants to elaborate.
That is not the point.
Story, but
this is boiled down to the absolute critical elements that you need to pay attention to. That's why dreams are so great, because it is the shortest, most effective way to communicate the emotionally relevant parts that need to be communicated. And so like I just geek out about it.
My conscious brain wants to be like, whose name was written on the graves? Like, who was it?
If it's not there, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So how did you feel in the dream? What emotions? We always start there. Or when you woke up? It was a while ago, so it's okay. Just best choice.
When I woke up, there was like, I don't remember like being sad, but like in the dream, like, I'm not much of a crier these days. Going back to a previous conversation about like suppressing, like when you were talking about grief, but you can't have all the other things, like the distraction aspect. So when I was in therapy and I like started talking about things, is when I cried for like the first time since like my last breakup, basically. So like since like December of last year. And so like having like a crying dream was like really intense for me.
That's great. You were sad.
I felt there was just this sense of loss of like, I'm really sad. Like, I don't even remember who it was. I just, like, I put down it was like my family, but and I was just like,
oh, you're thinking too much. You're thinking too much. I'm gonna stop you. Just
okay,
you're thinking too much.
Okay,
you're thinking too much. But like, let me guide it through. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. So sad. I'm imagining sad because here are these family members who are gone. Is it safe to assume grief sad? Like sad, loss sad.
Yeah. And
you're on a ranch. Is there any memory of like, why you're on the ranch or what you were doing? I mean, you're doing landscaping. Was there something you were focusing on? Don't invent details, but just to ask. If you don't remember, that's okay too. Wasn't important.
I just put down helping with landscaping. So I was just doing just manual labor stuff.
You ready to get into the meaning?
Yeah.
So the other rule with dream interpretation is I can only help guide. Nobody can tell somebody what their dreams mean. Only you can. But I can offer suggestions that maybe help facilitate internal exploration, right? Sure. Like self-reflection. And so I think about being on a ranch. Ranches are places that you grow stuff, grow animals, grow crops, like kind of fertility symbol, fertile land, fertile livestock. And so like, here's this setting, right? Like opportunity, fertility, good stuff, almost even rebirth symbol perhaps. But you're working on the landscaping, right? And so it's like, well, here I'm on the ranch, and you think I'd be focusing on these things, but I'm a little bit more focused on the appearance of stuff rather than the actual like planting of things or maybe tending to the livestock or whatever. So that would be my initial thought is like, okay, tending to appearances a little bit. But then that's like juxtaposed and right next to, I kind of run upon these graves and I cry, which is something I don't experience in my waking life. And so to me, it's like, okay, yeah, it makes sense that you explained all that stuff you did before, because here is my dream actually able to release these emotions that when I'm conscious and awake are suppressed. And so here is the suppressed emotions. But why the graves?
Yeah.
Well, in dreams, all parts of the dream represent parts of ourselves, typically. And so when you think about the graves, it's actually like the question I have would be, what parts of your own identity are you grieving that are gone? And I think that's driven home by the fact that they're family members, because family has a lot to do with how we establish and find our identity. We learn what we're good at and what our giftings are first by the conversations with our parents. They like see you bring home a math test and like, wow, Stephan, like you're great at math. Like you did good. Look at that. Or, you're playing sports and like, wow, you're really good at sports. And, or you bring home a, chemistry test and you do really bad on it. Like, chemistry just may not be your thing. And so we internalize that. We learn about our identity.
How'd you know?
Yeah. I mean, hey, me either. Just lucky guess. And so it's like, okay, those seem to be the two pieces of it. Like I'm working on appearances in this time of fertility, and then the emotions that are held back that maybe in the soil, like underneath the earth, buried bodies are, there's this part of my identity that's lost. That would be, at least if it was my dream, what it'd be speaking. How does that resonate with you? Is there a part of it, like as I'm saying it, that feels emotionally resonant? Like, or am I off in some ways?
Feeling that I've lost something?
Just any part of kind of the description that like, oh, that fits. Because now we're in the refining process of like a dream interpretation session. I'm going to like talk about some stuff and you're like, ooh, that hits. And like, no, that feels wrong. We need to.
Man, I should have interrupted you like a second ago.
Yeah. Do you want to repeat something?
Something you said, like, I don't quite remember. It was something you sparked about when you were talking about how your family helps define you.
Yes.
That sort of thing.
And that's how we learn our identity.
Yeah.
And so dead relatives can be a loss of identity.
I feel like there's definitely a conscious part of me, present me, that kind of blames my family for some of the issues that I have now in my adult life in terms of like my ability to execute things, or like my fear of failure and things like that.
Oh, so the family graves is particularly important because not only is it a loss of self, but it's a loss of self because there were certain opportunities that weren't afforded you due to the way that they treated you or interacted with you. And so here it is, with them is also buried parts of self that you never got to explore or were afraid to explore because of their communication. Yeah. Is that resonating even more?
Yeah.
Okay.
So wow. There's things that I struggle with trying to start a business or different aspects of that that I don't know if I can attribute this or not, but like going through therapy, it's like there was this wound that is definitely keeps resurfacing for different areas of my life right now.
Yeah.
And it's like a part of my brain is just like, well, if I just had a normal childhood, then like I wouldn't be struggling with this. And I feel like, and then a part of me is like, well, then I would be able to succeed, you know.
That makes sense.
And then so, which I don't like because I feel like it makes it me, I don't want to paint myself as a victim. I want to be able to take ownership of who I am and where I am now and be like, I can still do this. I don't want to like.
Yeah, I always phrase it to my clients as the things that happen to us when we're little, well, they're not our fault because you couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But they are our responsibility now. And so, not my fault, but it is my responsibility. Like, it is your life. You're responsible for your life. It wasn't your fault what happened and the difficulties and obstacles it placed in your path, but it is your responsibility to figure out how to overcome them because it's only your life to live. So let me ask this then. You probably don't know, but maybe just listen to your gut. Don't think about it.
Overthinking is my specialty.
Listen, stay with me. Stay with me, Stephan.
Okay.
Don't think about it, but do you have a hunch in your gut? How did they die?
No idea.
No idea.
No idea.
Does it feel like they were just old? Just like old relatives, or did they die in some other way? And if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. But I don't know. Wanted to ask.
It's just like the only thing I can remember is just like they were too young. Like so, like I felt like a part of me felt like I should still have time with my family.
I knew there was something there. It's like it didn't feel like they were old. There was like extra grief of like I should have had more time.
Which is what I feel now. Of like I'm being greedy with focusing on myself and like really ignoring a lot of my family to grow as much as possible right now. But I struggle with that because I spent almost 7 years in Japan. My family never came to visit me when I was over there. Yeah. And so only time I got to see them is when the 2 times I came back to America, one for my brother's wedding and the other time was for like a Christmas. And so I already feel like I lost that time too.
Yeah.
And then it kind of comes in as like, well, how important is family to me? And like, you know, if all of that is kind of like jumbling in my head, which is tough.
Let me ask you one more question.
Sure.
Then, because this is a good one. We're probably not even gonna get to another one because this one's so good.
Okay.
You're really gonna have to stay with me on it.
Okay.
So imagine you're in the dream and you're crying, right? And you're there with them. If you could imagine that they come back or that their spirits come down and are there behind you as you're crying, what would they say? Or what would you want them to say? Because they're seeing you like in that moment.
This is really hard.
No.
Can you say it one more time?
So imagine you're there.
Okay.
You're in that moment. If you got to close your eyes, close your eyes. Like you're there, you're crying. It's too young. It's too soon. You didn't have enough time. And you just imagine that their spirits or whatever it is, like their ghost comes and is behind you. And they're there with you in that moment. What do you want them to say to you? Or what do you want to say to them?
I'm going to overthink this. But the very first thing that came to my mind was like the imagery in my head was them like placing their hands on my shoulder saying, live your life.
How does that feel?
It's like a kind of like a freeing feeling of like, you know, you don't have to worry about us type of thing. It's like them already being deceased is kind of just like you don't have to worry about us anymore. It's like we are able to still
we're good.
We're good. We can witness your life. Like it's, you know, yeah.
This may be me reading into it, but that would seem to attach to the beginning part, which is you don't have to worry so much about the landscaping. You don't have to worry so much about the appearances or like how it looks or like how we perceive it. It's just like you're free. Like go live your life.
I'm trying.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like IRL outside the dream.
So the last question I always like to ask with a dream like this, or with any dream, is we've explored a bunch of the pieces about it, like the subconscious parts, and it seems to have resonated.
Yeah.
Like that's what the dream's trying to communicate. I am of the very strong opinion that the brain doesn't do anything just on accident. You know, all these systems are very masterfully wired together to do important things. And so if you have this dream that broke through that barrier that tries to get us to forget our dreams when we wake up, this means it's emotionally intense enough, significant enough that you should remember it because it was remembered.
Okay.
So if your brain's giving you that gift of communication, what is your subconscious asking you to do next? I think the dreams are always asking us to make a change. They're like, here's the information you need to know. Now move forward in a new direction. What does this mean for you now? What's your brain asking you to do?
It's such a loaded question. Jeez.
Loaded how?
Like my brain is like almost like trying to block that. It feels like, because I feel like if I had the answer to that question, then it would solve so many of the other issues I'm having of like what I need to be focusing on day to day, what I need to be, you know what I mean? Like I've been struggling with like agency, figuring out what the most high priority task is I need to do every day, how to get my business off the ground, what I should be focusing on, like big choices on like, do I quit a full-time job and like really go after my own business, all these different things, while trying to worry about relationships. And so like the answer of like, what is that thing that I should just be, I don't know, like it kind of goes back to like those words of just like live your life that popped up of like,
yeah, I think so too.
I had a chapter of my life that is closed, but a plethora of experience I can draw from. I have, and because of just that in of itself I'm a different person. Like I can't relate to my family like I did before I moved to Japan. And I think that's probably the biggest thing is like, I can't relate to people the same way anymore because I'm just so different.
Yeah.
And so like I think a part of me is just my brain is like telling me like, you know, you need to start this new
Live your
part
life.
of your life and just be like, as you are now, like this person, like live this life. Like,
yeah, I think so too. The part that I was going to say is, if it was my dream, and we always say that to be respectful, like if it was my dream, right? I have no idea, it could be totally wrong, but if it was my dream, I'm in agreement, but I would say it maybe in a different way. Like I think I would have the same kind of conclusion that you do, but the way I would say it different is, since this part of me is dead, since this part of me has passed away, there's a lot of stuff where I try and manage my perception, the way I'm perceived, like manicuring the landscape, like thinking about what they feel, like thinking about like how I'm perceived or how I come across and what's my relationship with these people. And it's like, man, that's so much and causes so much overthinking. And it's like the solution to this overthinking would just be if I can have clarity about just myself and my emotions. Like all the other people whose influences and voice have destroyed my ability to move forward with clarity and perception are gone. I can just focus on myself. Not in a selfish way, but in a way of clarity.
oh yeah.
Live your life.
Yeah.
And so like to me, if it was again my dream, the message would be allow the grief to release those parts and those worries about perception and how I'm coming across and how I'm like what I look like to other people, because I need to focus on me. I can't manage their perceptions. I need to let them die too. Does that resonate at all?
Yeah, like that's something I've always struggled with is like I irrationally care too much about what other people think about me.
And I imagine that'd filter into business and personal choices and relationships.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, that stuff's tough.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it relates to some kind of like childhood wound that you'll explore with your therapist one day and like talk about that story about that one time in second grade. You know, I don't know. But
yeah. And then like some of the stuff you just said, like is amplified by my time in Japan, because that is culturally something they do, is they care a lot about what they do and how it's affecting other people, of like
that culture.
Yeah. And so like that in of itself like kind of like amplifies onto what I already, I think that's why I related so much to them though, is because
it's
easy for me to like live that type of culture, if that makes sense.
And I know I've got to wrap up, but like but like if that's true, then maybe the best thing that could have happened for you long term is to come back and to like step out of that culture again, like to immerse yourself in that culture, see that you resonate with it for the toxic reasons, and then come back out and have that perspective of, I have to let that part of me die, because if I don't, I won't be able to make the choices, decisions, and progress that I would like.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Yeah. Thanks for opening up. Thanks for sharing your dreams, Stephan. This is great.
I never thought like the 2-sentence dream would be the one that takes the longest.
Yeah. Now I was like, no, we got to dig into this.
I was looking at the other one. I'm like, this one's like almost an entire paragraph.
I know. Maybe I have to come back. We'll do the other one, you know? But anything to say or thoughts to share before we like wrap up here?
I sent a song I wrote last night to you.
Yeah, you did.
Like, that was just like kind of off the dome, just kind of almost like stream of consciousness thoughts type of thing. And I think at the end is what I should tell myself and what I like to tell other people, of really strive to do something that makes you uncomfortable every day. Like,
I like that.
And the second part is something John Cena said. I don't know if you've heard this.
No. Well, maybe.
He said,
but John Cena.
At the end of the day, he talks about, did I earn my sunset?
Ooh, that's very poetic.
Yeah. And then, so in the song, I put, did I earn my sunset today? If not, that's okay. And so, like,
that's profound.
I've been caught up too much in like big things of like, I need to accomplish these bigger things, but it's the small things that have been making me make the most progress.
Yep.
I may be tired, but I'm like, I can just put on my workout clothes and just walk, or I could just lift weights for just 5 minutes. I don't even, it's not even just like doing the entire workout. It's just doing the small thing that's uncomfortable, but is going to make a longer lasting impact.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing I'm like focusing on right now. So
that's great. And I know a lot of people are in the same place and needed to hear that. I can also see how that ties into perception too. If I show up for 5 minutes, nobody's going to be excited about that. But if I do the whole workout, they will be. Or if I focus on the big goal, people will be impressed. But nobody really cares about the small stuff. But that's the shit that matters.
Yeah, like success, like is romanticized a lot, but it is a long and boring process.
It's very boring. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Well, if you like what you see, there's an application down below. Come on the show. Let's try it out. I'd love to talk to you about your dreams. I'd love to share just how important dreams can be for therapy and like emotional exploration. So thanks for opening up, sharing it, and catch you all on the next one. Until then, bye.
Peace out.